We're baling hay. It's not really a haymaking day and the stuff is nearly there, but it's forecast rain tomorrow. So we're making it have it. I don't know whether... I don't know. It'd be beautiful stuff if it don't set fire to itself. The bales are like lead and all. My dad's come for a load and he ain't going to put many on trailer because he's going to have a bloody some weight on. And it's very wet here and all. It'll soon cut in and soon get stuck. Yeah, job's a good one. Another box ticked. It'd be alright actually. I think it's very near, but I think it'd be real good stuff. Everything's going alright at the minute because we've had a terrible week for breakdowns. Big tractors broke down 2 oil pipes, emptied itself of oil. Baler tractor spool valve bust and it's been dripping all day. That nearly emptied itself of oil. Luckily now buggered up. We've had a real good week among straw actually. We've real cattle, combined, well not combined up, but wheat's finished and all spring barley what's fit's finished. A few oats are doing a little bit of spring barley to tidy up. Tidied this grass up and I think it's right enough, but yeah, bloody breakdown after breakdown at the moment. Baler was playing up. I had to have a day on baler, sorted out a little bit. So she needs a service off big bale services this year. But yeah, I'd just like to say a thank you to Simon at Witham's Oil. He gave me this t-shirt, a bit of sponsorship, because I gave him a plug before. We got our oil off Witham's. You just ring him in next day, it's here like, you know, how you want, you know, but where it's a little, I mean, you have to go to a dealer whoever's a reputable, whatever, dealer to get your oil. But we get it delivered through Frank, you see. We get it through Frank's account. Because he's got an account with them. Trade, they sort of trade if they aren't, if you know what I mean anyway. But ring Simon, he'll give you advice on what you need. What sort of barrels you need for your tractors, like our fleet of tractors all different, you see. We've got bloody Classes, Fergies, New Hollands, McCormick, John Deere's, we've got everything different. So what Simon did, he matched our oils to what we run. And well, touch wood, we don't get a lot of trouble with brakes, as in brakes polluting back ends, knackering gearboxes up. I don't want to tempt fate there, but I mean the oil is right, like, well, the oil's right because Frank won't use it if you want. So yeah, Witham's Oil, go Simon. Our rep. I'll ask him first, but I'll put his number in bloody Dewberry. And if you want any advice, give him a ring. He's got a lovely American pickup and all. One day I'll have one myself. Just spraying some residual chemical on the last field of rape. Up fairly early, the big yellow guys just coming up over the Yorkshire walls there, and yeah, going really well. Putting a lot of water on, 300 litres, so I have to go really slow. I've got some new jets in the shed, I just haven't had time to put them on, and I want this job doing because the rape will soon, it's quite warm still, and the rape will soon be coming out, so it don't want to be a contact, it wants to be residual. The little rape plant wants to grow through the chemical on the surface rather than be contacted on top of it, if you know what I mean. This is just for broadleaf weeds such as your fat end, red shank, well, all broadleaf weeds, and then grass weeds we'll treat later on. with a couple more chemicals. Yeah, I've got some new jets. One what fires one way and one what fires other. And I want to put up to 400 litres on, which is a massive amount of water per hectare. But if it coats them, if it coats the soil more efficiently, so more weeds are killed by that chemical, I think it's a must really. Well, it's an experiment anyway. It's cost me a bit. Got him off our sprayer man. Well, he's a mate of ours, he's Mac, and he's sorted it out. He's given his advice, and I've got some advice off another fella who I know to, yeah. I mean, the stuff's that expensive, you don't want to be putting it on wrong, that's my opinion. You know, it wants to go on right, so. And this old girl, I mean, she's prehistoric, but, I mean, I'm spraying at 300, I've got a bit of dog steaming camel. Hey, no, fucking idiot. Stay. I'm spraying at 300 litres there. I want to be putting a bit more on. But it's causing a lot of, quite a bit of drift, which I don't want. So these new jets, I can go a lot lower pressure to get that water volume on. I'll show you, they're quite fancy. They were quite expensive, but Mac did as a sort of trade deal, so yeah, and they're there for a lot of years. I'm only going to use them for this job, and then as soon as, and probably desiccating such as rape and big masses of crops. Say if I was, you know, if there was a lot of volume of grass, you know, if I was trying to kill a stubble what was a lot very green, like cover crops, that'd be ideal for. I'd probably use them for that. And then everything else drop onto my flat fan 150 litre standard nozzles. It's a slow job. I mean, when I get these in, I'll be doing hopefully 8 to 10k to put that 400 litres on. Yeah, I've got a load of wheat to load. So the last week 190 quid. Don't know whether it's the right thing to do or not. We always sort of market our corn basically from now right through till next July, when we're sort of panicking that we want shed emptied usually, and just dribble it away, and I think we get an average pricing, and you know, we did our job wrong last year. Like, it was a freak year for selling corn. I mean, anybody who sold their rape near on at £1,000 and their wheat over 300, all of it did very well. A little bit of greed, you know. People thought, it's going to go up, you know, we're going to make a lot more, but we should have just flogged it all when it got to 300 quid. But anyway, not to worry. Happy on the day, aren't you? Well, I wasn't very happy when I sold my rape, because I sold my rape terribly, I'll tell you. But anyway, not to worry. But when you're looking at a falling market and it just keeps sloping off, and you're busy and it slopes off another 50, 70 quid, you think, Christ almighty, will it go up, will it go up? And then next minute you look and it's done another 50 quid. It was, yeah, a bit heartbreaking really. Just have to come and rescue Sexy Fingers. Bust a bolt in drawbar, so I replaced 2 of them, but it hasn't been held by much, has it? So we replaced them with 2 quite thick ones, a lot thicker than that. But it's unforgiving, his horsepower on that bloody thing, really is. But yeah, we've had a right green up on our stubbles, so we maybe ought to have round up them first, but it'll be 3 weeks before we drill this. This is off in with barley again. I know I can hear you say, probably if you watch my videos, oh no Richard, it's fourth barley on trot, but it did about 3.5 ton, and 6-row barley just suits this stuff, so it can have another go. And then it's oilseed rape next year. 1, 2, 3 fields in a row. We're gonna have a big block of oilseed rape in 2024. My dad's here topping, he goes round outsides. You know, we aren't to the date to do edges, but I think after weekend, well, is it 1st of September, isn't it, when we can start knocking edges back. Phil will have a week, like, you know, while we just prepare a bit of land. I think everything's alright. Trouble is, it's unforgiving horsepower, is that. I mean, I know your modern men think their tractors can pull for England, but that, I don't know, 2011, I think horsepower was a bit different 10, 15 years ago. Before they had blue. It's unforgiving, but Phil says yesterday he was up over hill, and he says he needed every bit of it. It was absolutely on its knees. I mean, that tractor for us only does about 300 hours a year, but on our land, on some of our rougher soils, when anything less, we'd be doing half a job. So it's got its place for what its value is. I mean, we didn't give a lot for it. As long as we look after it, I'd tell him not to be too rough on it. Something a bit different, look. I think it's to the intercooler. In my opinion, as long as it's running warm, we can run it today. Just having a word with our mechanic, Frank. Yeah, the bloody hole run through there, look. You can hear him whistling, man. We're just waiting for Frank to come back to us. So no point in me buggering off if I had to come for it. And we're just saying about our tractor. She's just an animal, isn't it? Really. For what we paid for it. I know I keep telling you how much we paid for this, but what this and that. But yeah, it's a monstrous piece of kit. But how many hours have we done with it since we've had it? 1,500, 2 grand, 2,000. It just does so much in a little time. I mean, if we could, I don't think you would pull that. You'd pull it with Magnum, maybe. But you wouldn't pull it very well, and you'd have to have legs up a bit. Well, this just romps away like. I don't know whether it's a nice looking tractor or not, really. I think it's a little bit ugly, don't you? A little bit of an ugly beast, but it sounds beautiful though, that Cummins engine. It's just, you know, when you hear something like that, like a different sound, you think, oh bloody hell, this is going to cost me a fortune. We had to have the engine out because it had a drip on the sump, and the engine has to come out to do the sump gasket. It's bizarre. It was absolutely madness. That bit has to come away from the back end to do it. But apart from that, touch wood, it's alright. Just, there's no words, is there? Dog in baby sight.